Quickly talk to you about the Fundworks. So, if you're looking for business loans this year, you might actually have come across a platform called the Fundworks. Okay, so I want to review this platform and really see whether or not it's actually suitable for your business loan app this year. So, let me first define for you what the Fundworks actually is. So, this is basically a financial services company. So, it's a business lender that actually directly funds merchant cash advances. So if you think about the Fundworks, I want you to think about MCAs primarily. They don't do anything else. They focus on MCAs and they're pretty good at it. I mean, now, of course, some people say, well, they're pretty aggressive in terms of their MCA rates, their factor rate, but at least you get funded, right? At least you get funded. And if your goal is to get funded, to get working capital, the Fundworks actually is a pretty good platform to really think about, okay? And so basically, what they have achieved in the last 5 years is that they have a renewal rate of 75 to 78%, which means 78% of their customers come back to them for more money, okay, for more funding. And the company was created 10 years ago. It was created in 2015. They were based in Salt Lake City, Utah, okay? But what I love about this company here is that you can get MCA amounts that go from $5,000 all the way to $500,000, which is pretty impressive because basically you're selling your future receivables if you go through an MCA, right? An MCA provider. But with the Fundworks, what you get is you get more than that. You get support. You get a team member, one of the team members that actually works with you to make sure you get the best configuration possible. And the terms here are actually up to 180 days. So we're speaking about what? 6 months all the way to 18 months, actually, depending on the loan amount, okay? And also depending on your history with the lender, okay? In terms of factor rates, you're looking at 1.23 to 1.29. Now, I think it's a little expensive, but again, the most important thing for me is that you're getting funded. If your goal is to get working capital right away to actually take care of business, even if you're paying 23% upfront or whatever, that's totally fine. That's not a problem. It shouldn't be a problem at least. So let's talk about the qualifications for Fundworks. So if you know what MCA providers do, they don't really care about the personal FICO score. They care more about the cash flow. Okay. They don't care about your personal FICO score, your business credit score. They don't care about all that. They care about revenue, cash inflows, and cash outflows. So if you think about the qualifications for Fundworks, you will realize that their criteria, their eligibility criteria are pretty low. Okay. For instance, in terms of credit score, they will accept 500. And in terms of monthly revenue, they will accept 10 grand, 10,000 minimum. Okay. Minimum. So this is kind of cool because it just means that the Fundworks is open to working with a large variety of companies, including startups. Okay, so this is just really good. And also, one thing I want to say here is that you have the possibility to actually work with with the Fundworks on several occasions. You can even have two or three or four multiple MCA arrangements happening at the same time, depending on your history with them. Okay, that's an important element. But like I said, in terms of factor rate, you are looking at 123 all the way to 129. So just be aware of that. Just means, let me give you an example what an MCA factor rate really means. Let's say you apply with the Fundworks and you got approved for $250,000, and they say, well, the factor rate is 1.25. So basically, what happens here is that you will be paying $250,000 times 1.25. That's equal what? That equals $312 and $500. $312,000 and $500. Okay, so you would pay actually $62,500 in interest just to borrow 250K. Okay, so this is something to really think about, especially if you're concerned about your cost in terms of funding. Because MCAs are notoriously expensive, but at least they get you the cash that you really need to actually expand and take care of other stuff in your business. So, how do you apply to the Fundworks this year? So, if you're interested and you think that the Fundworks can give you the cash that you really need, you want to go to their website. So, as you can see on the screen here, they have a signal, they have a sign called Get Started, right? So, that's how everything starts. I can assure you that the application that you have through the Fundworks actually takes about 3 to 5 minutes, okay? Nothing really complicated. It's not really that complicated. So they'll ask you for a preliminary data, like basic data, such as a business name, including a DBA, doing business as, your business address, phone number, an email, your EIN, and also your years in business. Just remember that they want you to be in business for at least 6 months, because see, when we talk about your future sales, they are really relied on I would say electronic sales, okay, electronic sales to see your history. So once you actually provide that data to the Fundworks, what happens here is that they will take 3 to 6 hours to review your application, and you can get pre-approved. So you're not approved, but you are pre-approved, which is really cool because at least you have a chance to actually push your business loan application a little further in the underwriting sort of itinerary. Okay, so this is really good, and if you are approved, which usually takes about 6 hours to 24, sometimes 48 hours, you get your funds immediately, like 24 hours after you got approved. Okay, so this is really fast compared to traditional business loans, conventional business loans, where you just linger forever and ever and ever. With the Fundworks, you get paid as soon as possible. And so once approved, the company wire transfers your funds to your business bank account the next day. And so basically, you have to repay the merchant cash advance with a daily percentage of revenue. The percentage it takes is actually set up to ensure that you repay the amount due within 180 days, okay? And this is something you really think about. And you must actually contact the company to get your remaining balance, because there is no way to check it online or through a customer portal. Okay, so this is something to really think about. Now, one thing I say to all clients, but also my viewers, is to keep track of their balances and payment history independently to make sure that they are on the same page and that nothing happens in between. So if you think about the Fundworks this year, what are the advantages of Fundworks? I think one thing that I've said before, and I still want to say it now, is that you can get fast funding with a low credit score. You have a bad credit score, a low credit score, you can still be funded. Okay, this is kind of important because if you were to go to a credit union, if you were to go to a bank, if you were to go to other lenders, you might actually stay there forever, and nobody will look at you because your credit score is low. But if you go to an MCA provider, you go to a business lender of the caliber of the Fundworks, you get you get get cash real fast. Okay, and the Fundworks actually gives you funds with a high rate. That's for sure. But at least they give you funds. Okay, and also you can request renewals through the website. So this is really good. Okay, so as a merchant, if you go through the Fundworks, you get a convenient online application with pre-approval possible within a few hours. Okay, so just keep that in mind, especially if you are looking for flexibility. So what are the disadvantages? Well, the cost, right? I've said this before. The cost is pretty high, really, really high. So you got to be ready to pay that much to an MCA provider. Okay, so while it's not actually as costly as some, MCAs are one of the most expensive forms of business funding. So not only are the rates high, but you must repay the advance in a shorter period and make daily payments. Okay, so the total cost could actually disrupt your cash flow. So just be aware of that, especially if you're building something and you need cash, you need business cash to get your products rolling, for instance. This is an important element to keep thinking about. So I want to talk to you about the pros and cons of the Fundworks. So I've given you a little idea about the business and how the funding model works. So if you think about the pros here, it's important to understand that basically you have fast funding. Okay, you get funded within 6 hours to 24 hours. That's less than 1 day. So if you need business cash, business funding real fast, basically the Fundworks could be a good, I would say, a good business lender to consider. Low credit score, not a problem. So they will accept you even if you have a credit score of 300. 300 is totally fine to actually get funded. That's totally fine. And you also have maximum factor rates that are actually relatively lower if you compare it to other lenders on the market. Okay, and you have a convenient online application, so you get approved real fast if you go to, and the application will take you about 3 to 5 minutes. Okay, nothing really complicated, and you can also request renewals through the Fundworks website. And you can once you actually request a renewal, you get approved within 48 hours. Okay. On the flip side, MCAs, I've said this before, is very expensive. MCAs are expensive, okay? And on their website, the Fundworks, you only can really interact with their MCA product. While other lenders will give you many more possibilities, with the Fundworks, you only have their MCA products, okay? So so there are no long-term funding options. So if you work with them, the maximum time frame you can get to repay the loan is actually 180 days. So that's 6 months, okay? Less than 6 months because some months are 31 days. But yeah, that's something to really think about. And they require daily repayments from your revenue. Daily repayments. Because see, they approved you based on a certain pattern of revenue. So they want to be paid as often as possible to actually cover whatever risk they have for funding you. So if you think about the Fundworks, you have to really understand that basically this is a legit business. They've been around for a while now. Okay, they have the possibility to fund you, to fund all kinds of businesses. Of course, they have some favorite industries, but they will fund any business. Okay, and this is a legitimate MCA company. They were actually funded in 2015. So that's, like I said a little earlier, 10 years. That's pretty good. Okay. And so basically, you have to, when you work with the Fundworks, you have access to a pretty competent, polite, and professional customer service organization. So they take care of everything for you. They'll answer all questions that you may have. So this is really good because it gives you a more flexibility. Okay. Now on the flip side, basically, when it comes to the Fundworks, there are some, I would say, reviews online that focus on the fact that the MCA rates, the factor rate is pretty high, and that basically sometimes the Fundworks will still charge you once the funds are paid off. Once the business loan is paid off, people are saying that they might actually still charging you. Okay, so something to really double check if you want to work with them. But if the Fundworks actually declines you, because the Fundworks, even though I said there is a lower credit score, you're not guaranteed approval. Okay, this is something to really consider. But if you get denied for any reason, for whatever reason, you have the possibility to apply elsewhere. Okay, either you actually beef up your financial profile so that you get approved next time. Because when the decline you, they'll give you reasons why your application was not approved in the first place. So if they tell you, you have to fix this, fix that, then at least you have stuff that you can work on. Okay, so that's really important. And so whether you were denied a merchant cash advance or decided Fundworks is not suitable for you, there are plenty of lenders available. I've covered, I would say, tens or if not hundreds of lenders on this channel before. So there is no shortage of merchant cash advance providers. But you can also consider other business funding programs, including working capital loans, business term loans, business lines of credit, equipment financing. Okay, you have invoice factoring. You also have revenue based financing. So this is something to really keep in mind. So at the end of the day, do I recommend the Fundworks? Yes or no? Yes, definitely. This is a lender that can really take care of you. Okay, they can really take care of you. They can get you funded real fast. And the company actually has been doing this for the last 10 years. And basically, hundreds of customers have actually been funded through their MCA program. As long as you can stomach the cost of like the factor rate they are charging, anywhere from 1.23 to 1.25, sometimes 1.28. As long as you're comfortable with the cost of funding, you should be really you should have no problem getting funded. Okay, and of course you got to have a legit business, a regular business. Basically, the Fundworks tries to stay away from online business models for now. They would rather actually fund traditional business industries or business niches. Okay, and in this economy, honestly, if you can get funded and you have a good business model to actually get a higher return on the investment, like if you borrow and you pay 30% in interest rates, but you're able to turn on that cash and generate revenue that can really equate to a percentage rate, a percentage ROI of 200% or 300%. That's a pretty good proposition. Okay, you can get the cash, actually use it, make it work, and then turn it around and pay the MCA. One thing I want to say also is that with the Fundworks, as with other lenders, you have the possibility to actually get funded fast, but you also have the possibility to pay your loan earlier. Now, if you pay your loan earlier, you're not going to actually save on interest. Okay, like this is not a traditional business loan, so the amount that you have to repay is actually calculated upfront. So, like I said, if you get a factor rate of 125%, 125, and you are borrowing $100,000, you have to pay $125,000. Okay, whether you pay within 3 weeks or 3 months or six months, you still have to pay the $125,000. So, in conclusion, in today's conversation, I spoke to you about the Fundworks. This was a review of the platform. So, I explained to you what the Fundworks is, how do they work, what are the qualifications for this lender, and how to apply for the platform, how to apply to the platform. Okay. Thank you so much. God bless you. I will see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.